guys, my name is Megan and this is my sister Amber, and today I have convinced her to let me pick her some books to read because she does not read very much, but we'll see how it goes. So when I first really thought of this idea, I just kind of mentioned it in the car and I kept pestering you for, how long did I pester you for, like a month?
I think we've been talking about this for like 3 or 4 weeks now, where we've just been kind of talking about what books I want to read, what books I'd be interested in, what I might be willing to try reading again.
Because I have made her read a couple books and she liked them okay, but
I just at that time I wasn't really into it. Super into the whole reading thing. It just wasn't my thing. So I'm willing to give some things another try, just so I'm not being biased against them.
Yes. So the list that I end up having is very specific.
Yeah, let's go over the list.
So creepy, supernatural with no heavy romance is a big one. Mythology is okay. Science fiction was kind of like a maybe. Space was also a maybe on that list. Mafia or gang type stuff was good. Always good. Tight knit friend group was
alright.
It was alright. Fluff is okay, but the minimum of political drama. We don't want a whole lot of political drama. Fairy tale retelling is okay, and no high school settings if it could be helped.
Yes. No overdone high school drama settings.
Yes. Okay. So I have picked 8 or 9-ish books for you to... Our goal is really for you to read 3 in
2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. A minimum of 3, but you could read more.
I could read more.
These are just suggestions.
I have no idea what she picked, so I guess I'll dive into it.
Yeah, where do you
start?
So I've picked a pretty interesting mix of both more adult books as well as young adult books. So there's kind of a mix of everything. So where do you want to start?
Let's just pull one out and see what we got.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. Okay, I guess I know where I want to start. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Moon Called, the first book in the Mercy Thompson series,
So I have read this book.
Yes.
I think I read this in high school. I want to say it was my junior year of high school. I did like the book. I think I read the second one.
Yes, you read the second one because there was something you really liked a character in this one and it wasn't even a major character and they just killed him off.
Yes.
Boom, he's gone.
Yes.
And I warned you about that when I gave you this book, I think.
I remember that. Yes, okay.
So this one, I want you to give this one a second shot, just because I love this series so much, and the series really develops after the third book. And this one is about Mercy Thompson. She's she's a skinwalker, so she's like a coyote shapeshifter. And she owns a VW mechanic shop in Tri-Cities, which is one of our favorite places to go.
Yes.
And I actually kind of always wanted to go to Tri-Cities, and then we started going for geocaching, and it just kind of really helps pull this series together for me, because then I know where things are and sorts of really cool fun shit. So Mercy is not the only shapeshifter in the Tri-Cities. There's a pack of werewolves and their alpha is one of her neighbors, and she just kind of helps, all this cool kind of urban fantasy stuff. So that's always a good one. This one's always a really good introductory urban fantasy if you're interested. Yeah, why don't you pick?
I thought you were gonna pull this.
Yes, that one is
Darker Shade of Magic.
It's a really good series and it's not overly done. It's creepy and it's also very supernatural. There's magic and there's also a really good tight-knit friend group.
Okay.
And
we'll keep that on the list.
Yes, that one hits a bunch of different notes. Hang on, let me move them now because there's more room in the bag. Okay.
Alright.
Go ahead and pick. Ooh.
Dirty Magic.
Okay.
Didn't we talk about this in the...
We talked about that one at lunch the other day.
Okay, that's right. This one is about a cop, and there's magic. Werewolves and things in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so Dirty Magic is one that also hits on the supernatural aspect, as well as...
That's right, okay. I remember that one. We pulled that up on Goodreads.
Yes, I made her read the description on it because I was working on this while we were at lunch. Working on my whole list.
I thought this was kind of funny.
So in the Dirty Magic universe, magic is treated as a drug. So people cook it on the street. It's kind of like meth, but magic. So people are cooking potions and spells. The main character, Kate Prospero, is a beat cop when she starts out in this book. And, she's kicking butt, taking names for, busting drug sales. that kind of stuff. And then she gets recruited by the magic equivalent of the DEA, and she's put on this task force to help like curtail all the gangs that are running magic and stuff. And Kate doesn't really tell anybody about her past, but she was once living on the street cooking drugs, or cooking magic spells.
Interesting.
So that one hits on the supernatural aspect, as well as there being like some family drama because she has custody of her little brother.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
That's definitely interesting.
And it's got that like cop, like procedural kind of show, like, you know, Blue Bloods or whatever.
Alright. I thought she might put this one on the list too. This is Six of Crows. We talked about this in the last video that I was in.
Yes. We've actually talked about it.
Link in the description below.
Yes. Actually, it'll be linked up in the corner.
So I know this one is about gangs, and this has magic in it. This is one that I'm actually kind of interested in. This might be one of my 3.
Yes, that one is one that you definitely should read, even if it doesn't make it into this 3-month thing. So there's a big heist, there's this gang of really tightly knit friends. They don't start out that way, but they kind of smush together to create like a little family group.
Now, there's more than one book, right?
Yes, there's 2.
There's 2, okay.
And there's also another series that's like, this is a spin-off from.
Oh, okay.
But that one is very heavily on the political, like, it's the political takedown of an entire nation.
We'll see about that then.
Yes.
But Six of Crows was definitely...
That hits pretty much everything on the list.
It does.
Okay. The Red Pyramid. So...
Is this a spin-off from the...
Percy Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So, Kane Chronicles is, or the first book in the Kane Chronicles, The Red Pyramid, is a spin-off of the Percy Jackson series. Now, if you want to read the Percy Jackson series, like, in order of which series was published first, it would go Percy Jackson, the first set of Percy Jackson books, and then the Kane Chronicles, and then Heroes of Olympus. But everybody says you need to read that. Everybody says read the Kane Chronicles last. Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus.
Then Kane.
No. And then it goes the Magnus Chase, and then Apollo, and then Kane Chronicles.
That's a lot.
I know. But I personally really loved the Kane Chronicles. It's a lot of Egyptian mythology, but you also get hints of Percy Jackson being in there. Like, it specifically mentioned do not cross the East River because the East River has its own set of problems because the East River is where the Olympians are.
So will I still understand everything in the book even if I haven't read the Percy Jackson series?
You have to have no prior knowledge of Percy Jackson to go into the Kane Chronicles.
Okay, that's a big thing. That's what I needed to know.
Yes. So you don't have to have any prior knowledge to go into the Kane Chronicles, and I don't think you need any going into the Magnus Chase series.
Okay.
But... So Red Pyramid hits a bunch of more...
It's got the mythology, it's
also got a sort of school setting, but they're learning magic rather than an actual school.
Which I'm totally down for.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting setting because they go from being in New York to being in... Or from London to Egypt to New York, and then basically world hopping.
Interesting, okay.
So it's a very, like, globally set kind of book. And, you know, it's got really great brother-sister characters, and they switch off viewpoints, and it tells you who's talking.
Okay.
Yeah, it tells you exactly who's talking at the top of the page, or, like, the top of the chapter, which is really nice, because there are some books that don't do that. Shadow the Fox looking at you, because I hated it. It didn't tell you who was speaking at all. But this one is very good. It's very well written. It's also written in the form of, like, audio tapes. So these kids are using a recorder, and you can, like, it'll, like, say, stop talking to me, Sadie, or, you know, whatever.
Interesting.
So it's got, they're telling the story, but they're also getting, like, side commentary.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we've pulled out 5 so far. There are 4 left.
Alright, so go ahead.
Pull out the next one. Let's see. Oh! The Percy Jackson series. Okay.
Okay, yep. Lightning Thief is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, which has been around for a very long time.
Yes, this was around, I think
it came out when I was in middle school.
Yeah. I remember reading one of these as a class when we were in 5th grade. I think that was our circle time story. We read through the first one, and I think that was it. So I think if I do happen to choose one of these for my 3-month reading or my 2-month reading, whatever, I would probably only choose one instead of doing both.
So that was kind of my idea. I had it on there as either Percy Jackson or the Kane Chronicles.
Okay.
But since we've seen the Percy Jackson movies, I will admit I really like them because they're really dumb and they're
so dumb.
They have nothing to do with the books, and I still kind of like them because they're really dumb and really funny. But it has nothing to do with the book.
That's good to know, because I remember watching the movie and I didn't like the movie because it was so campy.
Yeah,
and it was
very
so
campy.
overdone, and I didn't like it. But that's good to know that the movie is so different from the book.
Like, it's completely different. Like, all the stuff with, like finding the Persephone's pearls or whatever, that has nothing to do with the book. Nothing.
That's good. Okay.
The casino's there, but there was a couple of other, like, big things that I remember from the movie that are actually in the book, but a lot of the movie was just complete crap.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's book 6.
Ooh.
Graveyard Shift. I have seen this around the house. I have never heard her talk about it.
I don't often talk about this one. So this one has more of a romance, like, element involved, but it's not an overarching, like, thing in this book. So otherwise, it's an urban fantasy kind of, so kind of like all of the afterlives are smushed together into this, like, one plane of existence. Grimm, the Grim Reaper, has kind of outsourced his, like, reaping to these souls that are kind of created to be reapers, and that is what our main character Lana Harvey is. So she's just kind of going through life, just, like, doing the bare minimum of what she needs to do, hanging out with the Archangel Gabriel at a bar owned by a demon, you know, that kind of fun stuff.
Because of course.
Right? And they're, like, all of the different afterlives, so Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Chinese, Asian, other, like, all types of mythology are kind of all combined in this. So you see characters from different, like, backgrounds, and they all kind of interact within this, like, it's called Limbo City, so that's kind of where all the dead go. And it's really interesting, and somebody is trying to overthrow Grimm and take over the whole of the afterlife and create chaos.
Interesting. It's not very long, so I feel like it's definitely doable.
This one I don't know has an audiobook, though.
That's okay.
I think this one does have an ebook because that one was an independently published book, and I have through book 4 or 5 of that one, if you want to read them. So they're really good and really interesting, and like I said, the romance aspect is not overly huge, but it's there.
It's there. Okay. As long as it's not, like, the overarching theme.
Yeah, no.
I think it's okay.
The overarching theme is her trying to figure out where the bad person is to, you know, stop the demon uprising.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interesting.
Alright. Skinwalker.
Okay, so Skinwalker, so we've talked about this one before. We're in the video that this one was in.
Did this part get cut?
Yeah, I think that part got
cut on the video. So in the last video we did, the very end of it
got cut off.
You know, the audio was bad. But this one, I think I equated her to Ghost Rider.
Yes.
She looked like Ghost Rider.
Yes, she does. So I've talked about this one a couple of times on this channel. So this follows Jane Yellowrock, and she is a skinwalker. So this one, she does not turn into a coyote, but she does have the ability to if she wanted. So this one, she's kind of more, like, she can turn into different animals so long as she has, like, a piece of bone that has their DNA structure in it. So then she can turn into that animal, but the one that she mainly turns into is a mountain lion, and Jane is a vampire hunter, so basically she hunts the rogue vampires, and she gets a contract from the head of the vampires of New Orleans to go to New Orleans and hunt down this rogue vampire that's been plaguing their city for a while. And she does that, but then she ends up overstaying and, like, becoming part of the New Orleans, like, supernatural culture. It's very interesting, and there is a little bit of romance, but not in this book.
Okay.
That doesn't really come into play until, like, book 4. But this one is very, like, focused on Jane being the badass that she is and, like, kicking butt.
Okay. How many books are in this
currently?
series?
I think currently there's 9. It's really, really good series. It's really long, and I like that, and there's at least one more book coming.
Okay. Alright, and last one.
What's that? Ooh, okay.
The Hazelwood. I have not heard anything about this book. I know nothing about it. I have seen it around the house.
I have a book review for that one up.
You do?
I have a book review for this one up, I think, and I will link it up above. So this one hits on almost all of the creepiness that you want. So it's creepy and supernatural. It's a fairy tale kind of, or it's fairy tale based, but not on any like real fairy tales. Like the author created her own special fairy tale for this. And there's no romance whatsoever, and it's just a really good, creepy book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay away from the Hazelwood. Interesting. Okay.
So this book follows Alice Proserpine, and she and her mom have been on the run for pretty much Alice's entire life, trying to get away from the shadow of Alice's mother's
uncanny bad luck.
Yes,
as they call it.
Yes, her very bad luck, because Alice's grandma wrote this very like sensational book called The Hazelwood, and it's all these really creepy fairy tales, and it was a very like cult classic, and the book has kind of like disappeared. And when Alice's grandmother dies, they inherit the Hazelwood estate where all the books were, where all the stories were written, and they go back and Alice's mom disappears.
Okay.
And Alice has to find her. And this book is so creepy. I think you'll love it.
Okay.
Because it is not what you expect at all.
Alright. So now I guess it is time for me to choose my 3 books.
You don't have, I don't want to know what you pick.
You don't? You don't want to know what I pick until...
kind of, maybe I do kind of want to know.
Well, you're going to know because I'm going to take these books.
Yeah, okay. So let's go over the rules real quick.
Yes.
So you can read the physical book that I have a copy of, or you can read an audiobook or an ebook if you so choose, which I am so okay with, because the more I get you to read, the more I can talk to you about books.
That's the thing, she just wants somebody to talk to books with.
Yes, I can just like chatter at her about all of these things, because I'm like obsessed with like all of these, and they're all really, really great, and I think you would like them if you gave them a shot, and then we can do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to get these done in about 2 months. Maybe 3. I will be doing little vlog snippets about while I'm reading. I'll do little check-ins.
We'll put it all together in a little compilation video when we
final check-in,
and when you give your star ratings for what you think.
Yes.
And you do have a Goodreads profile, so
I do. I have not looked at my Goodreads profile in about 5 years.
So yeah, because you made it for high school because you had to.
Yes.
But you could eventually put your reviews up if you wanted to.
Alright, so in the next video that I'm in, we'll be doing a recap and check-in for all of my
we will do a check-in
choices
in probably March before your birthday. Either March or April.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
So
what are your thoughts on books?
I think I've got 2 that I know I'm gonna be reading. It sounds like I'm gonna be doing Hazelwoods. I am going to attempt Six of Crows, because I've heard nothing but great things about this book.
Yay.
Now, the last one, this one is going to be difficult to choose. I think I'm gonna mark off A Darker Shade of Magic for now. I don't think I'm gonna read that yet.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay, so are these 4 the ones that you're down to?
So the 4 that I'm down to right now, well actually 3, because...
Okay, so we're taking off Red Newman. Okay.
So the 3 that I'm down to now, it's the Percy Jackson series, Graveyard Shift, or Mooncalled. Now,
do you want to go with something that you've read already that you know you kind of, sort of, maybe liked? Or do you want to go something completely new?
I think I want to go completely different. So
okay, so
my thought is that I want to read Percy Jackson. I think I'm going to choose Percy Jackson as my 3rd book.
Okay, cool. So you went all YA.
Is it all?
Yeah.
All of it's young
adult.
That's weird. I didn't think Six of Crows was young adult.
Six of Crows is definitely young adult, which is weird.
Interesting.
But it doesn't come across as being YA, which is really good because it doesn't different enough that you won't think of it as being YA.
Interesting. Okay. That's good to know.
And so is the Hazelwood, which for this one being as creepy as it is, I'm shocked that this is YA. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
And Percy Jackson is the middle grade, which you'll fly through that one, I think.
That's what I'm thinking, is that I'm going to read through this really quick.
And if you want to read more of them, I have them.
Yes. You have almost all of them, right?
Yeah, I actually have all of the Percy Jackson. I have all of the Heroes of Olympus now, and I also have all of the Kane Chronicles.
Okay, that's good to know. So if I do become invested in this series, I have something to go forward with.
Yes, I think you would really like the whole Percy Jackson and the Olympians arc because it's just so funny. But also, like I said, a lot of people say that if you read them when you're older, they're funny, but also very dark for being middle grade. Like, there's a lot of stuff that when you're younger, you just kind of like
brush over.
Yeah, you just kind of like gloss over it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a good time reading these. I've heard nothing but great things about the Percy Jackson series.
And they've been around forever.
Yeah.
You gotta give them a shot at some point.
At some point, I mean.
Good job. Okay.
Okay.
I think you're all set.
I think I am set. I'm gonna be set for a couple months.
Okay, so I think you're really gonna end up liking these books, and
I hope so.
And I really am interested to see your thoughts and your thought process while you're reading these, because you're probably gonna have a lot of different opinions than mine.
Oh, probably.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to vlogging the little
clips.
The little updates.
Uh-huh. If you guys had to pick one book for a non-reader in your family, what book would you guys pick? If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the notification button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links down below.
And stay tuned for the update video in March or April.
Yes.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye!
Bye!